Like I said in our previous session, when we are trying to analyze the effect of transactions on the accounting equation, we are supposed to analyze it in 3 simple steps. The first step is that we need to know what happened, and we are able to figure that out by just reading the transaction. For example, in this case, starting a business with cash of 10 million from savings, that is what happened. After knowing what happened, we are supposed to ask ourselves, how did this thing that happened affecting the items, or what items have been affected by what has happened? So after identifying the 2 accounts or the 2 items that have been affected by the transaction, then we go ahead and determine the effect of the transaction on those 2 items. That is, we are supposed to know what item or what account increased, what account decreased, and then we go ahead and adjust the figures and make sure that at the end of the day that the accounting equation is balancing. So let's get started with our first question here. It is simply stating that the first transaction is starting a business with a cash of 10 million from savings. So if you start a business with 10 million from savings, what are the 2 items that have been affected in this transaction? Well, for starters, we can all see that we have cash of 10 million. So it means that the business receives cash, and it is receiving cash from, it is starting a business, so it is the proprietor that has injected in cash, and that cash means that it has been injected in, and according to the proprietor, this is capital. Capital is the interest the proprietor has in the business. So those are the 2 items that have been affected, cash and capital. What has happened to cash? Of course, when you put 10 million in cash, the cash has increased and capital has increased, and so our accounting equation here becomes assets. The assets we have here are the cash that has been injected in the business, which so happens to be 10 million, and then we have the capital, which falls under owner's equity. And this capital is also 10 million shillings. And definitely after doing that, we are supposed to make sure that both sides balance. And of course, the asset side is 10 million. And the liability side is also 10 million. So that's it for the first transaction. It is all clear. Now let's move on to the second. On the second transaction states that purchased goods, that is inventory, amounting to 2 million and land amounting to 5 million using cash. So what this means, simple, that we use this cash to purchase or to buy inventory or to buy goods and also to buy land. So in other words, as far as this is concerned, we have 2 transactions here. Let's handle one by one. The first part of the first transaction states that you used cash to purchase goods. Then also the second transaction is that you used cash to buy land. So let's deal with the first. The first one, we used cash to buy goods. So it means that the goods that have been bought are 2 million. So what are the 2 items affected here? The 2 items affected for starters here is, of course, cash, and then inventory, or what we are calling the goods. We could call it inventory, we could call it stock. Let's call it stock. So we have cash and stock. Of course, cash is going to reduce by 2 million. Why? Because we used 2 million shillings to buy this inventory. So cash is going to reduce by 2 million because we used we used this cash to buy. And then the inventory or the stock is going to increase by 2 million. That is the first transaction. So now the second transaction in that question or in that statement says that he also used cash to buy land. So the 2 items affected here, we have land and also we have cash still. And the land is worth 5 million shillings. So it means that in this case, cash is going to drop down, is also going to reduce further by 5 million. and land is going to increase in value by 5 million. So to deal with these two, as far as the accounting entries here are concerned, cash first reduced by 2 million and also it further reduced by 5 million. To buy these two, it means that the total amount of cash that has reduced is 7 million. Cash reduces overall by 7 million. As far as this is concerned, this transaction is concerned. From our previous setup, we see that cash was 10 million, but then cash was used to buy stock. So cash reduced by 2 million, it also reduced by 5 million, which is in total of 7 million. So 10 million minus 7 million is going to give us a remainder of 3M. So it means that in our new write-up for the accounting equation, under the assets, cash available now in the business is only 3 million. However, this cash, when it was bought, we have new assets in the business such as stock, which is worth 2 million. So we have stock. And also we have land, which is worth 5 million. So that is it for the asset side. Then of course, when it comes to the liabilities side, the capital is still intact. It has not been tampered with. So after identifying that, remember the two sides are supposed to balance. So when we add this, this is giving us 10 million. And this is also 10 million. So the assets and the liabilities plus owner's equity have both balanced. So from that, we're able to see that the assets, this side, the assets and also liabilities plus owner's equity are both 10 million, so they've balanced. Let's go on and look at the third transaction. So in the third transaction, it says purchased more goods amounting to 3 million on credit. In other words, we have goods here that have been bought at 3 million on credit. It's not cash. So what are the two items that have been affected in this transaction? First of all, the person has bought more goods. So if it's more goods, it means we have more stock. And so it means stock has increased by 3 million. If stock has increased by 3 million, however, these things have been purchased on credit. So if they've been purchased on credit, it means we have a creditor that has given us these things on credit. It means the business is supposed to pay back this person. And because the business is supposed to pay back this person, this becomes a liability in our books. So this becomes a payable. So the payables account is also going to increase by 3 million because we're supposed to pay back. So this is how the accounting equation is going to be affected. From our previous write-up, we're able to see cash is not yet affected. So we have cash, still 3 million. We have our stock. Now, previously our stock was 2 million. But remember, we bought more stock of 3. So it means that our stock increased by 3 million. So the 2 million plus the 3 million is giving us 5 million as our new value of stock. So stock now here is 5. Then of course our land is still 5 million. So I think that's it. So then we get to the other side, we have our liabilities. We have payables worth 3 million. Then we have owner's equity, which is capital at 10 million. When we add the two sides, we end up here having 13M, and also here we have 13 million. Still, you'll find that our assets and liabilities, both sides are the same. So in our next transaction, we are being told that stock which was bought at 2 million is sold at 2 million on credit. So this is more like you've made a sale on credit. So what are the two items that are affected? First of all, when we are selling on credit, it means that the person we have sold to has not paid cash. If this person that we've sold to has not paid cash, it means that person is supposed to pay us later on. So that person is a debtor to the business. So it means in our books, we can either call it a debtor's account or we call it a receivable. But I'll use the word receivable because it's more relatable. So in other words here, stock which was bought at 2 million was sold at 2 million still on credit. So in other words, we have sold stock and we are expecting to receive cash for this stock that has been sold. So it means that the items here are affected. We have first of all, our stock has reduced the asset because we have sold stock. The two items affected here, we have stock. Our stock has reduced. And also, we have a receivable. Our receivable has increased. In other words, this is our data. It's a receivables account, or the debtors account has increased still by 2 million. This guy didn't make any profit. So he bought the thing at 2 million. That's the cost price. The stock was bought at 2 million and it was sold at 2 million. He didn't make any profit. We shall look at instances where there is profit in our later sessions. So here, like I said, the stock has reduced by 2 million. And so since we've sold on credit, now we have a debtor. So we have a new account called the receivables account or a debtors account, which has also increased by 2 million. And this is how the accounting equation now looks like. On the side of assets, we still had cash is still that. Our cash is still 3 million. Our stock was 5 million, but 2 million worth of stock has been sold out, so it reduces. It is 5 million previously minus the 2 million to give us 3 million worth of stock remaining. Then, of course, land is still remaining the same. And we have a new asset, a receivable. Remember, we are expecting this guy to pay us the 2 million because he has not paid cash. So that is a receivable and it's an asset. The receivables are worth 2 million. So that is it for our asset side. Of course, the liabilities side and the owner's equity is not tampered with. It's going to still be that. So it's going to be payables. Payables are worth 3 million. Then we have our capital. And our capital is worth 10 million. Of course, now adding the two sides, this becomes 13M. And this is also 13 million. So you find that still our total assets and our total liabilities always remain the same. So let's look at our last transaction. It says that trade payables of 2 million were paid off by cash. Remember, in one of our previous transactions, to be precise, it is the third transaction, if you may go back. In our third transaction, we purchased goods amounting to 3 million on credit and we were supposed to pay back 3 million. However, in this last transaction we are having, the question says that trade payables of 2 million were paid off by cash. So if these trade payables have been paid off by cash, what are the two items that are affected by this transaction? Of course, the payables, previously they were 3 million. Now when we pay them off, they are going to reduce now to 1 million. So the two items affected here, we have payables. They are going to reduce. And then also, since we have paid off this debt by cash, it means also our cash is also going to reduce by the same amount. So our cash is also going to reduce. So coming from our previous transaction, our assets here we have cash. Of course, previously our cash was 3 million, but we used 2 million shillings to pay off these payables. So cash reduced by 2 million. So our cash here, 3 million minus that 2 million, our cash now becomes 1 million. We now have 1 million remaining in the business. Then we have stock. Our stock is not affected. Our stock is 3 million. We have land. Our land is still 5 million. Then we have our receivables. They are still 2 million. So now when it comes to the liabilities, previously our payables or the debt, the money we owed was 3 million. but now 2 million of that money has been paid. So it means that it's no longer 3 million. It's 3 million minus this 2 million that was paid. So our payables reduced by 2 million. And so here our payables are now 1 million. And we still have our capital as 10. The total assets are still the same as the total liabilities and owner's equity. Now, while I'm doing these numbers, I hope you're not just watching me like you're watching a movie. In things that are relating or in things that involve calculations, it is always good that as you're watching a video like this, that when I mention a statement or when a question comes up on the screen, first pause, try it out on your own, then play the video to see if the answer you have gotten is what I am also getting as I calculate. This is how we learn when it comes to things that involve calculations, accounting, mathematics, and the like. So this brings us to the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Like this video if you like it. Be sure to subscribe if you've not yet subscribed. Be sure also to check out other awesome accounting related stuff on the channel. And as always, guys, I thank you very much for watching. I thank you very much for always sharing these videos with your friends. Thank you for the support that you're rendering to this channel. And as always, I am your tutor, Arnold Rangakuramia, and this is Kisembo Academy. Take care.